I'm Jaun-Pierre Van Den Berg. I'm from South Africa and I'm the under-19 laser run world champion. I started in 2024 this year with laser run. I wasn't as good and I also just did it for fun, but I didn't know I was going to be the world champion. I got some inspiration from Jaun-Pierre Van Den Berg, the Olympic champion in 400. Jaun-Pierre Van Den Berg broke the Olympic and world record at the Olympics in Rio, and that lit a spark in me. I also wanted to be a world champion. Didn't exactly know in what, but I became the world champion in laser run. My first race was in primary school, grade 5, where it was at the inter-house. It was fun, it was with my friends, so we wanted to see who's the fastest and the fittest of the sports that we did. At first it was for fun, and then I started with Coach Jared, my coach, and he pushed me to my limits. Well, I became serious about the athletics.
Perseverance and persistence. You don't make a world champion overnight. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication, day in, day out. It can be boring, it can be monotonous, so they have to persevere and persist. They've got to be goal-driven, so they need to know their goals, they need to know where they want to go, and they need to be able to understand they need to do what it takes.
My name is Jaun-Pierre Van Den Berg and I'm JP's mother. While me and the father, we speak to him quite a bit, you know, to encourage him as well. We are at all his races to support him, so I just think the backup, most of all. We back him up when he's down.
When I started shooting well, that's when I became serious about laser run, because I saw potential in myself. Laser run is part of the modern pentathlon. It is, at my age, under 19, we do 4 times shooting and 5 times running a 600 in between. I average about 110 kilometers a week on a bad week, and then sometimes it gets up to 140 kilometers a week.
When it comes to the laser run, the hardest portion of the race where comes in the shooting. We've got to teach the athletes to be able to remain calm, block out interferences from the other athletes and what's going on around them, focus on finishing their targets one shot at a time as soon as they can do it.
Putting your body on the line to be the best, training yourself to your limits, pushing yourself to your limits in any training situation to be the best. When I arrived in China, I was very excited because it was my first time overseas. The people in China, the nicest people ever. The food, I like the food, and also the experience was very fun. Racing at World Championships was very exhilarating and stressful, but we pushed through. School isn't the problem, athletics is, because there's a lot of hours that you need to put in the sport. I start my week off on Monday, school, training with my coach after school, and then it is recovery runs after training with coach, and then Mondays and Wednesdays is training in the gym.
Sacrifices that these athletes have to make, the primary one would most likely be on a social aspect. These athletes have to be grounded. They have to know their focus, they have to have their goals set, and they need to understand that they're training early that next morning. They have to be well recovered for these training sessions, and those sacrifices aren't difficult, especially for teenage athletes.
He doesn't have free time for himself at all, maybe once a week, maybe for an hour, so it's driving him up and down. It makes it difficult for him to be a normal teenager. But he knows the sacrifices he needs to make to become that, and that's his own choice. I think JP learned values, you know, with participating in the sport, is to stick to your routine, to stay disciplined, and not doubt yourself.
When there's athletes looking up to me and want to be like me, training hard, pushing yourself to your limits and dedicating your body to being the best. My goals is to reach the 2028 Olympics. I want to be an Olympian and maybe the Olympic champion one day, because Olympics is the biggest event in the world.